I'm Carcino. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. And we are back. We are back again. Fighting through sabotage, fighting through all of it. Woo! Here we go. Now I can do like everybody and make 55,000 Diddy videos. Are they trying to sabotage me already? I mean, damn. We just started. And they already coming with the boo-boo. Hit the like button coming through the door. Please hit the like button coming through the door. Now, the judge comes in this case, and everybody, they're talking about the government issue that they have with the juror. Like juror number 6, for some reason, is a black man, and this person is somehow off the jury. So you want to take out a black juror and remove them from the case, while all of a sudden a black juror is being removed. This is what we were going to discuss yesterday. Pretty much so. The sabotage game is in full effect. Yeah, so before anything ever started, like there was a juror that was just taken off the case, and then the judge said anything. They said anything before the jury comes in. Does the defense want to respond to the government on the juror issue? And then Alexandra Shapiro said, this is a thinly veiled attempt to exclude a black juror. We looked at the record and found a lack of candor. And they said, we'll deal with it before the weekend. Are the jurors ready? And they said no. So they took 10 minutes. So while they was waiting, Diddy is reading and talking to his lawyers. So Shapiro was on one seat away from him and about the jury. And the U.S., they was like, we still want to remove the jury. And they was like, we still waiting for the jury. Now, all these people that's waiting on the jury is, incidentally, they don't even know why it's taking this long to get the jury together. So, incidentally, it was like, why isn't the prosecutor's letter seeking to exclude the juror in the docket? But they got it under a government seal. You know, so the thing is, normally they would put it in the docket, but they would redact anything that would cause any kind of flags or some things that are sensitive will be redacted. It's not even in there in a redacted form. Despite Inner City's press requests and everybody else's requests. And where's the judge's orders? That's very strange. All of these activities that's been happening has been kind of like different. Yeah, so they remove a black juror, and everybody's supposed to be okay with this. Absolutely. Now, the problems that are ensuing and getting worse as we, go through this has been a record level of disrespect and all totality. So far, there are so many different people out here as far as form, just wickedness happening behind the scenes. And when you see things happening in such dismemberment, you sit up there and you shake your head because you can't believe what in the world is happening. Oh no, it's another black juror on there, but it's not many of them. But his removal, they don't even have the reason for it. And they want this addressed. Because by not addressing what the situation actually is, you're doing a disservice to the people. So right away, that's a red flag. Hmm. It's a complete red flag, and it's alarming for anybody that's had to listen to any of the news or anything that's been going on. It's a big problem out here. They want to hold everybody back, and these are getting to be the reasons why, and the reasons are not adding up. I'm sorry, I just got an email I had to respond to real fast. So, people asking me questions about what are they doing to your page, what is actually happening. You see how they're sabotaging now? This is why I don't like to even use desktop anymore, because of this tactic that they're using. Mm-hmm. Now, so the jury is found. They bring in the jury, and then they got the judge saying, okay, telling Tenny she could continue with her cross-examination of Jane. So she said, I was to admit this exhibit under seal. Can you read that, Jane? And they said, between 2021, between yourself and Cabral after a hotel night. And they said, yes. You had a pretty intense night. And they said, yes. He says to you, you were talking so dirty to me. I love it. Yes, I'm being friendly here. After a year-long hotel night, you saw him with Gina? Yes. Then Cabral wrote to you that he would be in LA and he's to stay with you if you want it? Yes. What did you say? It was my birthday weekend and you don't show me no love? Then you asked him to send you a personal video. Yes. That night you saw the Italian entertainer, who we call the entertainer, right? Yes. And Sean had taken up with Young Miami, right? Yes. And you said, if you don't get your A out of the island, no party, right? Right. Sean wrote you on a note that you said meant the world to you. You told KK you wanted to make it cute and romantic. Yes. The Valentine's Day hotel night, having two men there. Was that your idea? It was. After these nights, it was crushing to see these things. Like Gina posting the love bracelet on Instagram, right? Yes. Here, you are planning to reach out to Sean and perhaps reach out to the Italian. I was still doing that then. He says, can you FaceTime? Yes, that's what he said. 10 days later, you had another hotel night, maybe. Let me refresh your recollection of seeing Mr. Combs and not having a hotel night with him. It certainly did. A hotel night until the end of June, maybe. The momentum is shifting in this case to me. It was never a case. That was the problem. Here, Mr. Combs, I'm jerking my D, thinking about how nasty you're going to be to me, right? Yes. He says, call the Italian or Paul to see if they're free. You liked Paul. It's free, right? Yes. He gave you a choice and you chose. Yes. He responds, I told Paul at 11 p.m., is that okay? And let's watch adult films first, right? Yes. He says the London Hotel. What would you get? Stripper shoes, shorts, maybe whips. Why shorts? I really was turned off by their shorts, so I got other shorts for them. It was not so fun to wait to see if they would be erect. I started to get things on the side so they would get, more erect. I got pills at the store, like these things that's called rhino pills. The next day he says, want to do dinner at 9? Bring the freak bag just in case. What's the freak bag? Lingerie and the rest. But you didn't have a freak night. Let me refresh your recollection. And this exhibit right here under seal. He says, I'm about to work out with Paul, then I want to see you. You say, hair up? There was probably a FaceTime between these two. He says, did you want to hit the Italian, right? And you said, yes, I didn't want to. Sean says, Paul is all we need. And you said, what did you say? I'll go to the store unless you get a head start. What do you mean? Go to the hotel ahead of me. So go to the hotel ahead of you. That's what that means. But then they said, but then you spent several days at his home. Maybe. You really did love him, right? Yes. Do you remember seeing Sean in September of 2022 and not having a hotel night through September the 9th? I'm not sure. Now you saw him, but no hotel night. Is that isn't She said that is incorrect. September 4th, we took a jet to Vegas. He performed, then we had a hotel night with an entertainer. Do you remember seeing him on September 20th and not having a hotel night? I'm not sure. Let me show you this. Does this refresh your recollection? Well, I guess I did. Did Sean pay for your birthday dinner? Yes. What was the restaurant? I can't remember the name. But you had a great time, though, right? I had an okay time. You right. It's Nobu, the only place. How about something outside of the hotel? He conveniently put me in a hotel with the Nobu. I suggested Poppy Steaks. This is a nice restaurant in Miami. So I've heard. So they said Valentine's Day, the year before, he was in a different country. You wrote, get your A back from that island, right? Yes. Then at the Nobu Hotel, you accepted it. I would say I went along with it. You said accept it. My stuttering was trying to find the right words for the pressure I felt. You meant agitated? Yes. You said he gave you your birthday gift, a necklace. Yes. Did you take this video? Yes. And they said under seal? It was a Van Cleef necklace. Yes. What's a Van Cleef? A jewelry brand that's high end. In that photo, I had already taken the drugs. Anytime, any kind of affection that made me smile. They said, you took a mirror selfie. Unfortunately, yes. Sean gave the entertainer a condom that night. Yes. And these were your texts with Cabral. I was high. It was like 2:40 in the morning. And they said, so it was night East Coast time? Yes. You invited Cabral for the next day, but the ecstasy would have worn off by then, right? And these nights, I repeatedly took ecstasy. So you say you would book for his travel for the next day, right? Yes. What did you write here? I wrote, I appreciate everything you did for my birthday. I want to give you everything you want on Valentine's Day. What did you mean? The necklace and your lovemaking with only regards to him. Then you sent him photos of you guys in the hotel room. Yes. You didn't tell him you didn't like it until you saw him with Carisha and Turks, right? Yes. It was very hurtful. After enduring what I've endured. So after everybody saw that, the government was reluctant to ask for the juror's removal. They said, but after a review, they found there appeared to be a lack of candor with the court. And they said they accused them of trying to dismiss a black juror. And now, in that case, that's going to be ruled on tomorrow. Now, they've been making a lot of decisions that's been very pro, to the government's liking. Well, she's admitting mistakes that she's making in her testimony. She's accepting a lot of things. She's accepting gifts. She's taking ecstasy. She's booking arrangements here. So what you're seeing here is, what you're seeing here is a complete update of what's going on out there. Why is it so bad? No one else has said a word. Really? Is that what we're doing? Okay. No, I just got a message that just blew my mind. But okay, I get it. No, when someone sends you contact information, I hate when somebody do that. They send you something and then they change their mind about it. Exactly. I never seen a lot of different people come up and say things that they needed to address or get off their chest for whatever the reasons may be. You'll see a lot of people say things that just usually don't make a lot of sense for whatever the purpose may be. So that statement that she just wrote and sent me, it was pretty crazy. Well, patience is always the key. So when you start looking at like what was the main thing about the case, and they start going down this whole list, you could see that her whole thing is about this Valentine's Day and how the Valentine's Day did not go right yet again. Right. Well, remember when she said he asked her, "Did you want to hit the Italian?" She was like, yes, I didn't want to." They said, uh, Paul is all we need. And then it's like, what do you say that? She's like, I'll go to the store unless you get a head start. Go to the hotel ahead of me, but then you spend several days at his home. And she was like, maybe. That's what she was going through. And the whole time, she's just playing this game. And they was like, did you message Sean the following day after the movie night? She's like, yes, I did. He said, what was that message like? I said, last night was amazing. And it's like Paul is one of Sean Diddy Combs' personal trainers, right? He role played as Shaquille O'Neal in the trio sex fantasy where you was Jane, right? And where Jane was Kobe and Diddy was Michael Jordan, labeled as a trifecta. So they said, after sending the message that last night was amazing, did you follow up with any more messages? She's like, yes, I sent him a longer message about how much I loved and appreciated him. Do you recall what you wrote? I told him, my love for you is unconditional and for life. Where's these messages sent after a hotel night? Yes, there they were. Just to clarify, the feelings I expressed in that message was directly solely at him. Let's move to February 2023. Did you reach out to him around your birthday? Yes, I did. I asked if I could send him something for my birthday festivities, which actually, did you request from him? I asked for $15,000 to buy an outfit to cover dinner for me and my friends. Did Sean fulfill that request? Yes, he paid for the dinner. Did you later travel to Miami to celebrate your birthday with Sean? Yes, I did. At some point, you didn't express concern about where you will be dining. I did. I texted him asking if Nobu, the sushi restaurant in the hotel, was the option, the only option. I suggested we try something different like Poppy Steaks. That's a nice restaurant in Miami. She's like, so I've heard. On Valentine's Day, the year before, he was in a different country. You wrote, get your ass back to this island, right? Yes. Then at the Nobu Hotel, you accepted it. So this is what they were saying. This was your idea. You accepted all this. And he's like, why did you make that suggestion? I was trying to get out the hotel. I told him, I'm asking if I could please romance me outside of the hotel rooms. So they said, after your 2022 birthday party, did Sean mention having any plans? Because that's what they want to do, right? Is to try to trip you up, to get you to say something. He's like, sound like a relationship, not a Rico. Exactly. Yep. He said he had an entertainment plan for the dinner. They said, how did you respond to that? I went along with it. Can you explain why? My circumstances were my options in this relationship. If I saw him, there was usually a request for a hotel night. So I just adapted to my circumstances, adapting to my environment. Did you ever play an active role in planning these encounters? So they wanted her style. She was like, yes, there was moments where I suggested or organized things under the pressure of my lover. Yes. When they showed the jury a photo taken that night. They say, what's the context of this image? That it was taken after Sean gifted me a Van Cleef necklace and bracelet for my birthday. I had just received these gifts, taken an ecstasy pill, and was waiting for the entertainer to join us. You took that photo because you were excited, didn't you? Any type of affection I received from Sean at that point in my life, I received with open arms. Were you happy in that moment? Yes, I was happy to be wrapped up in my lover's arms. After your 2023 birthday celebration, did you send a message to Sean? Yes. What did you say in it? I said, I loved and appreciated every detail he put into my birthday. And that's where you're referring to specifically, right? The gifts and the time we spent alone together. Did anything else happen during that celebration? Yes. I had sex with 3 entertainers and Mr. Combs. Did you want to? No, I did not want to sleep with them. How did you feel? I was hurt, deeply hurt. I have just been made to have sex with 3 guys, and then I had to see him with another woman. Happy on vacation while I was alone, recovering. Did that lead to a breakup? Yes, we broke up for several weeks after that. When I pushed back, he was blowing up my phone a week later. This is the text message chain between you and Sean, March of 2023. He wrote, "Sorry, I called you a bitch. I deserve this, love." Right? Yes. Then he wrote, "When you come to Turks, right? When can you come to Turks?" And she said, yes. You sent him a heart emoji and wrote, "What we have is special, right?" Yes. The budget for your trip was 100,000, right? Yes. And he spent 55,000. I don't know. You felt like he didn't like you up and leaving for Paris. No, he didn't. You went to the Mandarin or Oriental and watched adult films with Sean, right? Yes. Sean asked you about bringing Don, correct? Given the situation, I said yes. You said if you known Paul would be there, you wouldn't have gone to Turks. I would not have. Did you write to Cabral from there and invite him to come there? Yes. Under the encouragement of my partner, yes. You were happy Sean gave you a diamond, right? I thought it was sweet. You were glad to get diamonds. I just want Sean. You wrote, I wanted diamonds. Objection to the form. So it's like rephrase. Do you remember telling Paul that you'll let Sean go too far and it was your fault? Yes. Your Honor, I think this would be a good time for us to take a break. So when they took a break, and what she's doing is taking a long route to get to the point. It's like we all get it. Like we all get what's going on here. Why is she even on the stand? Exactly. Right. And this the defense asking her questions. That's how messed up it was. Now, when I've seen things take a turn and go from like one side and flip to another side, there's always been someone in the way every time. Hmm. And that's why when people make these type of decisions that they go in the different routes and they want people to respond, there's always something crazy that's happening there. And no one seems to can put their finger on it or whatever. But every time they go into these scenarios, then when they want money, it's all money driven. And you can see that everything that they're asking for is completely money driven. No one else is saying anything. And that's what makes it more alarming. Hmm. That's why when we saw it happen, we all like our whole head frozen because we couldn't understand it. I know it's like a bizarre thing where all these women are starting to turn because they like wondering where that money gonna come from now. What many people didn't realize, when people are saying like, oh, they need to make changes, they need to go to this level, and we got to start doing something over here, what they really saying is they're making excuses. Nobody made her do that. She wanted to do it for her sake. Hmm. I've seen a lot of people make that same mistake. And when they make that same mistake, what they doing is they lying to themselves. So all this woman doing is lying to herself. There were so many different elements of what was going on here, and a lot of people didn't understand the process. They didn't understand what was going on as far as the direction and how people were accepting it, and we started to notice it right away. Hmm. Oh, for the grace of God, they do it every time. So they come back from break and they said, "You wrote, all I have in my mind right now is your passionate lovemaking, right? Yes. You saw him 2 weeks later and did not have a hotel night, right? Maybe. And then you asked if there will be any objection to the voice notes she's going to play." And then they said the A at USA Comey states that she's okay with it, even though she doesn't have a voice note in her list. And they said, "Give me a minute. I'll move on. They said, did you ask about the hotels or Airbnbs? She said, yes, I've asked. So right away, they're already establishing. Right. So they asked right away. So she's trying to already establish she has a credibility story. See, what the government does and what they do is start entering evidence and stuff as this trial is going. And they was like, well, you ain't put something in there. And then it's up to you to defend it on the fly. So they's like, okay. I'm sorry, somebody is emailing me at the same time. So they said, Sean asked you, how do you know there aren't any cameras in the Airbnb, right? And she wrote, yes. I wrote, they could be covered by security. And then you said, we'll just say it's our anniversary and we want to cover them to feel comfortable. What did you write to Sean? You make my child so happy. I love you. Take as much time as you need because she's crying. I do remember. Are you ready? Yes. In this, where are you? Hotel night. This is 3136 sealed. And this is 3152. Is it a message after the hotel night saying, I love living in the moment with you? It was our little party rose. Whatever you're saying is that the moon emoji? She's like, Judge, can we have a sidebar? So they go and have a sidebar. And before the break, when Jane comes back, she's reading the message and she says, I love you so much. I love you as my friend, my lover, my boyfriend, even though you don't like that word. And she said, let's talk about June of 2023. You helped take care of Sean after his surgery, right? Yes. And during that time, there were no hotel nights. No, not in June. But in early July, you and Sean had a hotel night, right? Yes. The next day, you sent him a message, didn't you? I did. I love you so much. I really love spending time with you. They took a sidebar. They came back, and he says, Jane jumping ahead, exhibit DX 3171. In this message chain between you and Diddy on August 9th of 2023. And they said, yes. So she says, this is it. Mr. Cohn's right. Movie night was off the charts. You say you agree, right? Yes. That's what she agrees to. Movie night was off the chain. Mm-hmm. So here we go. Movie night was off the chain. And it was like off the charts, right? So the All-Star night was canceled by the hurricane, right? She said yes. Then you heard Mr. Combs was on a podcast in Croatia where he said he had sex on the yacht trip. You said he lied to you. It hurt my feelings. You proposed zero bond or Caspa Capranti. Are those two private clubs in New York? She said yes. But you ended up going to a lounge, right? Yes. After you rejected the new entertainer for lack of chemistry. You called Calberol, right? Yes. And they said you were high. And she said, that night that Freer and you let Calberol do things you usually don't allow, right? Yes. And you then wrote to Mr. Combs, I love you so much. Correct? I did. So right now she's so right now it's coming in there. Hold on. Now, they said, look, man, they blowing my phone up. They're blowing me up. They said, you wrote to Mr. Combs, and she said she loved him. And they said, you were on a flight to New York. Combs sent you something, correct? He sent me a link. What was the link? It was a profile for the entertainer he wanted to hire once again, once I got there. And how did you respond? I sent him a thumbs up emoji. Were you agreeing to it? Not necessarily. I was just confirming that I saw it. So the thumbs up wasn't enthusiasm. No, thumbs up can also mean a little bit sarcastic. You spoke about the sobriety party. You resented him on the for it, right? Yes. You had wanted to break up with him after you saw him with Gina, right? Yes. You had wanted to break up with him after you saw him with Gina. There were so many times I wanted to break up with him. You were in Equinox parking lot and you tried to break up with him, right? Yes. Let me play you an audio recording. And she said, and Diddy said, we were both tripping. We need to pick each other up. That was she said. We need to learn to pick each other up. She's saying to Diddy. Mm-hmm. He said a thumb in her bum. Y'all wow. So she said, we got to learn how to pick each other up. So once she went on that road, she said, you and Mr. Combs are having arguments. What are they about? She said, he was spending time with Gina, one of the other girls. I told him she brought drama into our relationship. Drama? Yes. They had a lot of public problems. It affected me. Negativity into our space. And during one of these arguments, did Mr. Combs send you a message? Yes, he did. What did it say? He texts, girl, stop. You know that I don't feed into this. I need you. You're the only thing that is going to put me at peace. Please. You thought the hotel nights put him at peace? Yes. And this was part of why you agreed to them. Yes. I thought those encounters would bring him peace. No entertainers that night. Right. But it was after that the video in Cassie's lawsuit was made public, right? Yes. You used the word unfortunately when describing that night, but you agreed to it, correct? I did. So you regret now that you agreed to it. Is that fair? I resent him for knowing how much I loved him and how I couldn't say no to him. You're saying resentment, but do you regret it? I resent him. And you regret it, right? I believe resent and regret lie in the same feelings. So they said, all right, we finna adjourn this situation for right now because this is getting crazy. So they saying we're gonna adjourn right now and take this to the next level. So they starting to have a little huddle. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm just typing back. So as this woman is basically regretting things that she agreed to, which means one or two things. Oh yeah. Well, she don't want to use the word that she resented it, but she trying to get her to say you resent it. She's like, I think regret, like I resent him. Right. All of that's in the same sentence. Well, after it was over, they said, I understand that Tenny will finish tomorrow morning. Who's the government next witness? They was like Andre Lamas and John Perez. Then our first summary witness, Miss Shankar. They said, when will you rest? Next Friday or even Wednesday? So by next Wednesday or Friday, the prosecution is done. And they said, well, the judge, uh, they called Diddy's lawyer. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to set up a freak off tonight. I mean, damn, this thing is going off over here. I'm like, I got to read what she said first. So he's talking to Diddy's lawyer, the judge. He said, we'll know more when they tell us about which witnesses they're cutting. He said, I think we are still on schedule. And the government said, we want 26-2 material as soon as we rest. And Diddy, yes. I mean, Diddy's lawyer said yes. And the government says, I think we have opened the door to Jane's prior consistent statement, her notes before November 2024, when she got immunity for her grand jury testimony. And then Jason DeScroll said, there are not prior consistent statements. And they said, Diddy's lawyer said the witness was never going to be charged as a co-conspirator. And same thing I said. What? And then the judge said, what about the Mann Act charges? They said the government told half the story. And the judge said, I'll look at it. I'll see everybody tomorrow. And so this is the thing. She was never going to be charged as a co-conspirator. Nowhere, shape, or form. Yeah, I know, right? How does the Brady Act come into play? It doesn't. They can get the Mann Act, the Brady Act, the Peyton Manning Act. It ain't going to change nothing. None of this stuff is sticking. But they're trying to do their best. So we got a witness they trying to get rid of. They trying to finish the case by next week. Then they trying to say that she was going to be charged as a co-conspirator when that was never the case. And the government told only half of the story. In her prior consistent statements, she was never going to be charged as a co-conspirator. So if they were never going to be charged as co-conspirators, then why were they even on there? The Drew Brees Act. Exactly. The Mann Act was made for all us men to be put away forever. Yep. Yeah, well, when we see a retelling of yes, some of you might not have saw the Stephen A. Smith video we did earlier. Definitely take a look at that. We're gonna look at yes, we're gonna go take a look at another situation that's going on here. You know, we've been having a lot of tampering issues here, so we're gonna go ahead and go back and check out the timeline so you can see the videos you might have missed, like the live stream with Stephen A. Smith that didn't get pursued at all. So we're gonna go ahead and see what we can do to fix this on our end. So on that note, we're out of here. Love, peace, and hair grease. And don't forget, always like, share, subscribe, the whole nine. Hi, I'm Carcino. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it.